Hello, everyone. Have you ever imagined teaching English to an alien? Well, today, you're going to learn some simple and useful English phrases through a fun and exciting story. This is the story of Ben, a curious boy, and Zog, a friendly alien who doesn't know a single word in English. Throughout this adventure, you will learn how to introduce yourself, ask for help, and say goodbye all in a natural and fun way. Make sure to turn on the subtitles so you can read along and practice pronunciation. Also, whenever you hear a new phrase, repeat it out loud to improve your speaking skills. Are you ready? Let's begin. It was a quiet night in a small town. The stars shined brightly in the sky as Ben lay on the grass, looking up at the universe. He loved imagining what was out there: planets, spaceships, and maybe even aliens. But then, something unexpected happened. A bright light flashed across the sky, getting closer and closer. Until boom, something crashed into his backyard. Ben's eyes widened in shock. "What was that?" he whispered. He jumped to his feet and ran toward the mysterious glow. Ben reached the crash site, his heart pounding with excitement. A small crater had formed in his backyard, glowing faintly under the moonlight. Smoke curled into the air, and in the center of it all, something or someone was moving. Ben took a cautious step forward. "Hello, is anyone there?" he called out. Suddenly, a tiny green figure stood up, shaking off the dust. It had large, glowing eyes and short arms, and it looked just as confused as Ben. Then it spoke. "Blip blop soup," the creature said in a strange, bubbly voice. Ben froze. Was this an alien? He rubbed his eyes and took a deep breath. "Ah, hello," he tried again. The alien tilted its head, blinking. It seemed to understand that Ben was talking but didn't know how to respond. It mumbled again, pointing at itself. "Zog," it finally said. Ben's eyes widened. "Wait, is that your name?" The alien nodded enthusiastically. "Zog," Ben smiled. "Nice to meet you, Zog." He pointed at himself. "I'm Ben." Zog stared for a moment, then carefully repeated, "Ben." Ben laughed. "Yeah, that's right." Zog seemed happy, but then its expression changed. It looked around frantically, its eyes scanning the sky. It pointed to the stars and spoke again, faster this time. "Blip zorp, blop blop," Ben frowned. "I don't understand." Zog took a deep breath and tried again. He pointed at himself, then at the sky. His little hands mimicked something flying away. Ben's eyes lit up. "Oh, your spaceship. Is it lost?" Zog nodded quickly. Ben scratched his head. "Okay, we need to find your spaceship. But first, let's figure out how to talk to each other." He thought for a moment and then pointed at himself again. Then, then he pointed at Zog. "Zog." Finally, he pointed at the grass beneath them. "Earth." Zog watched carefully before repeating. "Ben." "Zog." "Earth." Ben grinned. "Great. Now, let's see where your spaceship landed." Without hesitation, Zog grabbed Ben's hand. The adventure had begun. Ben and Zog walked toward the open field behind the house. The night was quiet, except for the soft rustling of the trees. Zog looked up at the sky, then back at Ben, his large eyes filled with concern. Ben sighed. "So, how do we figure out where your spaceship is?" Zog hesitated, then pointed at his chest. "Zog." Ben nodded. "Yes, Zog." Zog pointed at Ben. "Ben." "Yep, that's me." Ben chuckled. Then Zog pointed at the sky again and spoke quickly in his alien language. "Blip zorp, blop blop ne zoop." Ben shook his head. "I don't understand." Zog frowned, looking frustrated. He tried again. this time using gestures. He spread his arms wide, making a shape in the air. He pointed at the sky, then made a crashing motion toward the ground. Ben's eyes lit up. "Oh, you mean your spaceship crashed?" Zog nodded excitedly. "Crash, crash." Ben grinned. "See, we're already learning." He held out his hands and gestured for Zog to follow. "Come on, let's go find it." As they walked, Ben decided to teach Zog a few important words. "Okay, listen. If you need something, you can say, 'Can you help me?'" Zog blinked. "Can you help me?" Ben clapped. "Yes, that's it." Zog smiled proudly. He looked around, then pointed to a tall tree. "Can you help me, tree?" Ben laughed. "Not quite. You'd say that if you needed help with the tree, like climbing it." Zog tilted his head. "Climb," then pointed at the branches above. "Climb means to go up." Zog nodded, storing the word in his mind. "Climb." They walked a little farther, and Ben pointed at the open field ahead. "Where is your spaceship?" Zog repeated the question. "Where is spaceship?" Ben smiled. "Exactly, you're getting it." Suddenly, Zog's eyes widened. He pointed excitedly toward the horizon. Blip, blop, Zog's spaceship. Ben squinted. In the distance, something metallic was half buried in the ground. "There it is," Ben cheered. "Let's go." With renewed energy, they ran toward the spaceship. Ben and Zog hurried across the open field, their feet crunching the dry grass beneath them. The spaceship was still far away, but its metallic surface reflected the moonlight, making it easy to spot. As they ran, Zog suddenly stopped and looked around. His large eyes darted left and right, and he muttered something in his alien language. Ben noticed his worried expression. "What's wrong?" Zog pointed to the trees nearby. "Blip, blop, danger." Ben hesitated. "Danger?" "No, no danger here." He gestured around. "It's safe." Zog repeated the word slowly. "Safe?" Ben nodded. "Yes. It means no danger." Zog exhaled in relief and smiled. "Safe." They continued walking, but Zog seemed distracted. He was deep in thought, his mouth forming silent words, as if practicing what he had just learned. Then, suddenly, he looked at Ben and said, "Ben, can you help me?" Ben grinned. "Of course, what do you need help with?" Zog pointed at a small rock in front of him. "Climb," Ben chuckled. "No, no, you step over a rock." "You climb a tree or a big hill," Zog repeated. "Step over, climb." Then he grinned. "Ben." "Step over rock," Ben laughed. "Yes, now you're making sentences." Excited, Zog pointed at a large log nearby. "Climb," Ben nodded. "Yes." "You can climb the log." Zog clapped his hands. "Climb, step over." They kept walking, and soon, the spaceship was just a few meters away. Zog's eyes widened with excitement. Zog's spaceship, Zog go home. Ben smiled, but he felt a small pang of sadness. He had just made a new friend, and now their adventure was almost over. Zog turned to him and held out his small green hand. "Ben, thank you." Ben shook his hand. "You're welcome, Zog." Zog repeated carefully, "You're welcome." Then, they both turned toward the spaceship, ready for the final moment. Ben and Zog stood in front of the spaceship. It was small, round, and slightly tilted in the dirt from the crash. A few blinking lights flickered on its surface, and a faint hum filled the air. Zog walked toward it and placed his hand on the side. The spaceship responded with a soft beep, as if recognizing its pilot. He turned to Ben, his big eyes full of gratitude. "Ben, thank you." Zog said again, This time with more confidence, Ben smiled. You're welcome, Zog. I'm glad I could help. Zog paused, then tilted his head. See you soon, Ben laughed. Yes, see you soon. Zog repeated, see you soon, Ben. He hesitated for a moment, then added, goodbye. My friend. Ben felt a warmth in his chest. He had spent only a short time with Zog, but it felt like they had been friends forever. He gave a small wave. Goodbye, Zog. With a final smile, Zog climbed into his spaceship. The hatch closed, and the engine started to glow. Slowly, the spaceship lifted off the ground, rising higher and higher into the night sky. Ben watched as it disappeared into the stars. He took a deep breath, looking up. Maybe one day I'll see him again, he whispered. Then, with a small smile, he turned and walked back home. And that's the story of Ben and the friendly alien. Today, you learned how to introduce yourself, ask for help, and say goodbye in English just like Ben and Zog did. Let's review the key phrases from this adventure. Greetings. Hello. Hi, nice to meet you. Asking for help. Can you help me? Where is your spaceship? Expressing gratitude. Thank you. You're welcome. Saying goodbye. See you soon. Goodbye, my friend. Remember, learning a new language is like exploring space. It takes time, practice, and a little adventure. Even small steps, like repeating words and practicing simple sentences, bring you closer to fluency. So, don't give up. Keep practicing, keep learning, and soon, you'll be speaking English with confidence just like Zog. Did you enjoy this story? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more fun English learning adventures. See you in the next story.